Hi, I got a rare Hill Farmstead beer to drink today. It's Sue. Only the second or maybe third time they've brewed this one. They actually call this one a Farmstead IPA, at least online. On the bottle it doesn't, or no, it does say Farmstead in India Pale Ale. So Sue is the version of Susan, their pretty commonly brewed IPA that they age in oak barrels for up to 2 years. I'm assuming they don't hop it as intensely as Susan, and they don't dry hop it before the barrel aging. They actually say delicately hopped, I believe, on here. But it's supposed to be a pretty hop forward beer. I want to drink this one fresh because for the last batch, some people were saying it wasn't as good after a couple years in the bottle. And this was bottled a little over 2 months ago. I bought it at the brewery a couple weeks ago on their expensive offerings, but I thought it was really interesting. And they also say they use New Zealand hops in this one, which they don't disclose the hops, I think, for Susan. So I'm gonna guess maybe it's Nelson hops or something. And I don't know if they dry hop it after the barrel aging too or anything like that. They don't give you a huge amount of information, but it is 7% alcohol, whereas regular Susan is like 6.2 or something. And yeah, I'm sure this is, basically one of your American wild ales, which is a very wide array of freely brewed beers from America, and the cap's on there pretty solidly. I don't like this bottle opener. And they filled it up way to the top. There we go. Ooh, it's got one of the special caps. I see. One of these ones with the little plastic in there to really help prevent oxidation. And it's starting to foam up a little bit, but they did fill it to about 1.5 inches from the top. Here we go. I've never had one of the hoppier barrel-aged beers from Hill Farmstead. I've had a couple of their, more Gouza-like ones, I had Verame, their one brewed with dandelions. And that is just perfect looking beer, though it is foamy head with active carbonation. It's not too much. They know exactly what they're doing. Hasn't been too much fermentation in the bottle or anything, and I smell funk and I smell lots of Brettanomyces. This is a pretty Brett forward beer. I guess the closest thing I've had to it is this this smells a little bit like Mikkeller Spontan Citra crossed with some sort of bread IPA so far. Yeah, it's not a huge in-your-face hoppy nose. It smells like it's just a teeny bit lactic, but it's got plenty of Brett funk, but not the sort of off-putting, like, porta potty is what I often say, Brett funk, that some people don't like. It's more of a mixture of like super duper ripe, near rotting fruit and hay, forest floor, slight mushroomy thing going on. And I think the hops do give it an extra juicy orange scent in the aroma, and the head is still sticking around nicely. It's not quite rocky, but it's got some little indents in there. Yeah, quite a bit going on in this one, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be super sour, which I like. I think they only say lightly tart on here or something. Yeah, lightly tart and delicately hopped. But it smells really nice. It seems like there's a little bit of all the elements in there. It's definitely got a little bit of a winey barrel thing. A touch of acetic acid. I mean, my mouth is almost watering, but I can tell it's going to be a nice tart bite. Though it's not going to be a warhead. It's not crazy lactic, I don't think. Ooh. Oh wow. Makes your mouth water once it gets in there. Medium body, really juicy. Lots and lots of wine barrel, like white grape and berry flavors too. I bet it's a mixture of white and red wine barrels they use. Mm. Yeah, it's a flavor explosion on the tongue, even though there's no flavor that's overwhelming everything. Mm. Yeah, it's got the wild complexity of a Gouda almost. It's got that nice, like, sort of lemony, grassy, oaky quality that, yeah, is up there with lambics. And it finishes, yeah, really rather oaky. The tannins aren't too strong though, but that's only after 2 sips. Seems like, yeah, I can feel it on the tongue. And there's a little bit of a green resinous hop character too, I would say, still in there. Mm. Though it is a little prickly with the carbonation, high carb, not crazy carbonation, but it's a little prickly and tannic and all that stuff on the tongue. It's still somewhat soft. Keep going back for more sips, but it is probably more acetic, like vinegar type acidity rather than lactic, lemony yogurt type acidity. So that lingers in the throat a little bit. If people are looking for a nice punch, quick sour immediately in the face with lots of lactic characters, it's not like that, which I like. It's much more of an effect of a wine barrel Brett, hoppy thing, but done really well. Mm. But there is this somewhat ineffable earthy character from the Brett that it's mushroomy, it's foresty, woodsy, and oaky, vanilla, lightly spicy. Yeah, it's that special magical thing that most lambic beers have, because they kind of have been doing it for a while. All the lambic breweries, they can get that magical thing, but this one's got that for sure. Then with an extra hoppy kick, it's like, maybe it's similar to something like Cuvée Saint Jean, or wait, was it Saint Gilles or something, like one of the dry hopped blonde beers from Cantillon, except that those ones I would say are probably a little bit more sour, more lactic character. This one's got more hop character. Mm. Yeah, actually, there might be a little bit of a peppery thing, like slight green pepper coming from the hops. Maybe if it's Nelson and like New Zealand hops in general, I get that sort of thing. That might be one of these kind of green but slightly savory sort of unique flavors that's mixing in there really well, giving it just a touch of spice. Yeah, I think it's in the aroma too, but not too strong. It's just all these flavors are blending so well. Yeah, the hot deep Brett seems like it's making some sort of interesting spice blend with it, that the hopping, the peppery hopping too. Mm. But this is a really fun beer to keep sipping and thinking about. It's a little bit addictive. It's not a crushable one. I mean, the acetic character is not building up too much in my throat. The tannins and the bitterness are not too much after having quite a few sips. And there's an interesting tang in the finish. It's really cool. Yeah, that's a really cool beer, but yet you have to be kind of into hoppy Brettanomyces forward things to like this beer, but they're doing a really, really good job of it. It's not nearly as hop forward as a lot of these dry hop sour beers I've been having lately, because I don't believe that they dry hop this one after the fermentation. I don't know. If they do, it's very light. They do say delicate, so maybe they do that a little bit, but it's not like some of these beers where they barrel age it and then they throw a whole bunch of hops in it, or these kettle quick sours where they dry hop a lot into that beer. This one has definitely gone through lots of phases over the years of getting this unique flavor. and it's got lots of herbs going on too. It almost has like a marjoram, oregano thing going on. There's a lot of stuff happening with this beer, though it's not really a huge smack in the face with flavor, be it, you know, barrel or sourness or dry hopping. I'm calling it an India Pale Ale. Doesn't quite make total sense. I guess it is similar to some Brett IPAs, but I should say that this doesn't have any of this chalky Brett bitter thing that I noticed with a lot of Brett forward hoppy beers, where, and it just lots of Brett forward beers, it doesn't have that chewing on a bitter pill. If it's there, it's like very, very subtle. It doesn't taste like aspirin. It's not drawing out my tongue too much. That's mostly being done by the tannins from the barrels. Yeah. This beer isn't blowing my mind, but it's the best beer that's got all these different elements happening together that I've ever had, for sure. But it's not one note, it's a lot of different notes. It's not like a lot of these dry hop sour things that are just like, whoa, lactic, whoa, hop aroma, and all that stuff. It's really the Brett is what's kind of leading this beer, probably, and doing it really well. So give it at least a 90. It's really a really great beer, and probably would be better drank pretty fresh. Probably also worth $30 a bottle. And yeah, it's also juicy. I've been talking about the fruits. There are lots of citrus, mostly like citrus, grapefruit. Oh yeah, definitely grapefruit. Lots of grapefruit flavor mixed with white grape and red grape. And berry flavors, strawberry. Yeah, think about the fruits in this too. There's so much funk. There's just so much going on. Yeah, at least a 90. How about 93 bags of popcorn for Sue.